Alright guys, today I'm going to show you how to install a 2S battery on this Sanwa MX-6 radio. Currently it has just the 4 AA batteries in the bottom. I'm going to go through step by step here to show you guys exactly what to do to install it. And what we're going to install is this Awanfi 1500 mAh 2S. It seems like it's a right size for that radio. The only downfall is it has some pretty big gauge wires here. So let's go ahead and jump into this. Remove the back of the radio. You have your 4 AA power bank here. What I'm going to do is just snip back a little ways here. That'll give me enough room to solder my new Dean's connector on, and then that'll also give me enough room to re-put the power bank if I ever decide to. I'll cut this back just a hair here. Let's not cut both sides at one time. There's negative, and here goes positive. Now we're just going to take and strip back those wires just a hair. Got my soldering iron over there getting nice and warm, so that way we can just continue flowing through this. Alrighty, I got the wires stripped back. The next step we're going to do is start test fitment of the battery in here. I noticed that I'm going to have to cut a little bit of the edge off here. I've already started. What I'm going to use is just a Dremel. Gives me a nice straight line there. I'm going to trim the rest of it back here, and then the battery should fit down in there nicely. And then all the wiring should fit up in this front bulkhead portion fairly well. Go ahead and test fit our battery. And what we're going to do is we're going to want to tuck it all in and close the door, see if we need to go any further with trimming or if we're in a good spot. I think we may have to go down a little further. Yep, it's not quite clearing. I have to go down just a little further on this corner over here. Alright, so it looks as if we take these 2 little tabs off right here, we'll be able to fit that battery in. Let's see, that's not going to quite work. Let's see if these are going to work. Okay, so what I did here is I took an X-Acto, scored it, and then used a flathead screwdriver and stuck it right underneath it. And it comes off fairly clean. Just hit this with a little file. Make sure, again, we don't have any sharp spots to damage the shell on that battery. Test fit this thing again. So again, I'm using this Awanfi 7.4 2S battery. Seems like it may pack enough power and longevity for the use that we're actually going to use it for in the radio. It's just these battery packs aren't quite dependable. So let's see if we can get this topper on there now. Everything's in there, and voila, fits nice and snug. You don't hear anything rattling around in there, so you shouldn't have to worry about anything getting damaged. The next step we're going to do is go ahead and solder our Dean's connector onto our cable here for the radio. Alright, so next step here is to take some heat shrink that fits your Dean's connector ends. Go ahead and slide it down over your wires to have them nice and prepped and ready to go. If you don't do it now, you'll forget, and it's not a good thing when positive and negative wires touch each other with lipos. Bad things tend to happen. Oops, sorry about that. So what I like to do is I like to start with a nice little tin on the wire, should I say. Basically coating the wire with a little bit of solder, so that way it's a little bit easier when I get ready to put it together. Alrighty. Wires have solder. I'm going to add just a tad of solder to the connector here. Next thing we're going to do is hold it into place and see which one our positive is here. There we go. So the good part about tinning in a nice hot iron is it makes your soldering job that much easier. It just slides together like butter. Oops, wrong side on that one. Almost. There we go. Let that cool down for a second. And take my pliers off here. Now we're gonna go ahead and run our heat shrink down to cover those connectors. I got my Dean's connector in there successfully. Now we're gonna plug her in and test her out and see if we did a good job here. All right, I got it plugged in. We're gonna tuck the cable down underneath. This way we protect our cables. You're not generally gonna disconnect this very often. They do stay charged for a pretty long time, and that's one of the biggest advantages of upgrading to a lipo battery inside of your radio. So if you take a look, the connector actually slides up underneath there to protect it, keep us from breaking any cables. Gonna push our battery down, leave our balance port up there, slide our back on, and now the moment of truth. There we go, we got 8.3 volts, 8.4 volts. The good part about this radio is it's voltage sensing. It knows if you have a 2S battery in it or if you're running this old style battery pack. Let me know what you guys think. Didn't take us too long to do that. It seems like it's functioning fairly well. The longevity of the battery should improve. We should be able to go, at least a full month without a charge on this thing now. The only thing I would caution you is these do not have a low voltage cutoff. So if you leave this on for over a 24-hour period straight, you're going to drain your lipo. At that point, there's a few techniques and tricks to bring it back to life. I may do a video to show you guys that later. But here we go. This is a completed product. We have the Sanwa MX-6 with a Awanfi 2S battery. Fits in there nice. Thanks, guys.